Computer. Okay. Well, we are gathered here this morning for a business basic boot camp. We've got 3 of them in July, and I wanted to provide this for our unit and anybody else who watches this recording to help bring our brains back to focus. I'm gonna do a little spotlight here. Okay. I wanted to give us an opportunity to have 3 sessions that you commit to help our brains refocus. So I'm going to talk for a little bit and I'm going to remove the spotlight so we can have some conversation. We're going to do like some training and some conversation. So what I want to start off by saying is that Mary Kay, from the time it was started, 1963 until now, is a very simple business. Mary Kay Ash, when she started the company, her advice to the company and to her consultants was KISS, keep it simple, sweetie. And what I have found in leading an organization for almost 21 years is that first of all, everything is the same in how we build our businesses. Nothing has changed with the basics of sharing our product and sharing the opportunity through relationship building. That's how it is. Sharing our product, sharing the opportunity through relationship building. Now, what's been fun is that we have lots of ways to do that. There's lots of ways to build relationships. There's lots of ways to share the product, but the foundation is sharing the product, sharing the opportunity. That's it. We can start, and I've watched people that, even though that's the same premise, do less of sharing the product and sharing the opportunity because we are so distracted with all the things that are out there, both in and outside of the Mary Kay world. And so this desire for these 3 sessions is to help our brains simplify. I am hoping that we can build some kind of like a little tunnel on our brains. And today it's going to start with the topic of organization and mindset. Organization and mindset. I believe those 2 things are what are desperately needed right now as we build our businesses and really in life. I go to physical therapy a couple times a week, and I was just one of my best friends in town owns the physical therapy business. And as a leader of her people, we find the same challenges with our people that we're leading: organization and mindset. Okay. So what I'm going to have you do, for those of you that are on live, or if you're watching, I want you right now. So maybe you've been awake for 30 minutes. Maybe you've been awake for several hours like I have. I want you right now, if you have a pencil and paper in front of you or a tablet or something you can write on, I want you to write down already today what you've thought about. And so if you've opened up social media and you've seen people's posts, or you've turned on the news, or just in your own brain, any thought that has run across your mind, I'm going to just set my timer for 60 seconds. And I'm not going to ask you to share what you wrote down, but I'm going to ask you how many thoughts have just crossed your brain just this morning. Okay. All right. I am going to remove my spotlight so we can all chat. All right. So I want to know how many thoughts, things have crossed your brain so far just this morning?
I
Or
have eight.
eight
Eight.
things. Okay,
Yeah.
so eight things that have just crossed your brain that you've thought of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ginger, how about you?
I thought about 10.
10.
Wow.
Okay, so 10 thoughts that are crossing your brain. Would either of you be willing to share just like an example of what kind of thoughts have crossed your brain? Any just like Bernie?
My daughter Lara just moved to New York, started a new job yesterday. And so I
Okay.
was thinking of her and praying for her that her second day would be a good day. And then my daughter Joy is so pregnant, 36 weeks tomorrow. And so I'm already starting to put together things she asked me to bring when I go up in August to stay with her.
Okay. Okay. So family related.
Family, yes,
Yes, absolutely. So I'm hearing one of those things with Laura, you can't do anything
no,
with
nothing.
the
Yeah,
situation, but it's on your brain. You're thinking about
yes. And I'm
Yeah,
praying for her. Yeah,
absolutely. You can absolutely. You've been praying for her,
yeah,
and then with Joy, you're like, okay, I got some tasks that I
yes,
want to do, need to do to prepare for that. Okay,
yes,
what is it?
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Ginger, how about you? Any thoughts that have crossed your brain this morning?
Well, I'm working this morning, so number of different just organizing and trying to, trying to get the day all settled. So yeah.
Yep. Yep. So work things are on your brain. Yeah. Have either of you had the thought of food at all? Like, what should I have for breakfast?
Mhm.
Or what am I making for
All
dinner?
done.
Or I need to get to the grocery store. When is that going to
Yeah,
fit into my day?
yeah,
I
yeah,
want to make, what can I make for dinner that's already in my house so I don't have to go to the grocery store?
yeah,
Like those
yeah,
kinds of thoughts. We have a
yeah.
lot of thoughts that cross our brain. Have either of you popped on social media or done any scrolling this morning?
Facebook.
Facebook? Okay, it's a little
Yeah.
bit of Facebook. Ginger, nope.
Nope,
So not
not yet.
coming in your brain. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that opens a lot of doors. So just our own lives I want to describe this. If you wake up in the morning and you're standing at the end of a hallway and you're looking down the hallway and it's doors lining either side,
Mhm,
we have from the moment we wake up, anytime a new thought comes across our brain, a door is opened.
mhm. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So that can happen with our own life. That can happen with scrolling. That can happen with a text message. Sometimes I've woken up in the morning and, from one of my children, they've sent me a text late at night. And I wake up to, oh,
Mhm,
okay. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes
mhm,
it causes concern. So
mhm,
those are doors opening.
mhm,
So our job every day is to decide, what doors do I want to leave open and what doors do I need to shut because it's not serving me. So this conversation is about our Mary Kay business. And so what I love about Mary Kay training is you can take this and apply it to every area of your life. I
mhm,
have loved that I've been able to transfer these thoughts to other parts of my world. And so today, when we think about organization and mindset, we're going to keep that hallway in our mind, and we're going to think about those doors, and it's going to be our starting point to going, okay, why are these two things important? So we're going to start with organization. So I'm going to recommend that as you do these 3 sessions today, whether you've got one in your closet or you have to go to Walmart to pick one up, that you would get some kind of binder
mhm.
that can hold every part of your Mary Kay business. Now, this is kind of old school. Some people do a lot of electronic organization. I'm going to encourage you to have a physical binder.
Mhm,
And it's fun when they have like a clear spot so you can put something inside, because
mhm,
that's going to be important for us as we go through this. But a physical binder that when you look at it, it's got everything you need for your Mary Kay business.
mhm,
Okay, it's all right here.
Mhm.
So if you're like, okay, where is that? Where's that thing that Beth talked about? Any training, anything, it's going to go in your binder.
Mhm.
Okay. So if you imagine, when you have a tool like this and you're starting your day and you are like, okay, I want to do something with Mary Kay today. This is like knowing, okay, opening the door of Mary Kay, all right, if I have this binder and I want to open a Mary Kay door, I'm just going to the binder. I'm going to
Mhm.
start with the binder. Because what can happen in this world with so much information, we can actually stand at the end of the hallway and open up a ton of Mary Kay doors. I every day get a message from somebody that says, oh my gosh, this was the best training, or this was the best new tool, or I could open up 10 Mary Kay doors in my hallway and not do any actual work that's going to help me build my business. All right. So we need to create a
Mhm.
door that when we open it for Mary Kay, it's all right there.
Mhm.
And then we can choose, okay, am I going to listen to these other things? Am I going to open up any other doors? Does that make sense? Like we need and I love like a bright color. So if it gets,
Mhm.
tucked under magazines or mail or whatever, it's like, oh, I can see a little corner of it peeking out.
Mhm.
This
Mhm.
is this like right here, having a binder. Okay. Organization. All right. Second thing, when you think about this hallway, I want you right now to think about standing at the end of this hallway with your Mary Kay business. I would love for each of you, I'm going to give you 60 seconds again. I want you to think about why you want to walk down this hallway, this Mary Kay hallway. What is your reason that you showed up today? What is your reason for going, okay, I want to do this. I want to figure this out. So I'm going to give you 60 seconds to think about that and just jot it down on your paper. Okay, I'm going to pull you back. Might be mid-thought. But let me, would either of you be willing to share what you wrote down on your paper? Go ahead, Bernie.
Okay. I love the Mary Kay products. So my reason for showing up is wanting to learn more and then being able to afford my Mary Kay products. So
Yes.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I had a really great dermatologist visit. No, nothing. And I'm in the sun all the time. And I have to say, thank God to Mary Kay and the product, the morning cream and all that with I just feel that that's just keeping my skin really healthy. And that's why I joined in the first place. I needed more product with SPF in it. And yeah, really great. So,
Awesome. Awesome. Fantastic. How it's so great to be so in love with our product. And I'm so
yes,
grateful that Mary Kay keeps producing such incredible products.
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Bernie. Ginger, how about you?
I put to share the benefits with others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We women, Mary Kay said, what did I'm trying to remember exactly how she said it, but she said, when you want the word to get out, you can use the telephone or the tell us something or tell a woman. Like we love sharing stuff, right? We love sharing,
Mhm,
which is
mhm.
why it's so important for us to realize, oh my gosh, we're a really important part of our business because we are great at
Mhm.
sharing things that we love. Well, that reason, it can change. It can change in different seasons. When my daughter got engaged, we had not had any money set aside for a wedding. And it was like, we're just paying for college. Like all the kids, they were in private school and college. And so that was our focus financially, was like college. And then she got engaged right after she graduated. And I still had 2 others in college. So Mary Kay had to pay for the wedding. So that became my
Mhm.
why, my reason for building my business on top of what it already is, because it does pay our mortgage. It does it is a huge part of our family's budget, but that was on top of it. So your binder that you have, not only do you want a bold color, not only do you want to have a little spot right here, you want to create something that reminds you of why you're doing this. Because when you're standing at the end of the hallway and you make a decision to go, okay, I want to work Mary Kay today, you want to have the door open, there's your binder, and you want to be able to look at your binder to remind you why you're doing this.
Mhm.
You want to have a reminder because there are days where we can kind of negotiate it away. Like, oh, I don't really need to do this. Like, let's just put the daughter's wedding on credit and we'll just pay it off over time. That is a decision that you can make. Um, and the wedding would happen and I'd probably still be paying it off to this day, 5 years later,
Mhm.
if we had done
Mhm.
that. But you
Mhm.
could negotiate that on days where it feels hard, on days where you're not getting the results that you want. So this why on the front is very important. Okay, so you've got your binder, you've got your why, and then today, as you think of opening up your binder, the first thing we're going to talk about putting in this binder, and this may seem strange because um, I'm not going to start with a booking script today. I'm not going to start with um, how to market our product. I'm going to talk about when you open this binder before you do anything else, what we need to be thinking about is our mindset. What's going on in our brains? Because we can do, Mary Kay said, you can do everything right with the wrong attitude and it won't work. And you can do everything wrong with the right attitude and you may see great results. So let me repeat that. You can do everything right with the wrong attitude and not get the results that you want. Like you're doing textbook, like you're doing like, okay, Beth gave me a booking script and I'm doing the booking script. I'm making the calls and I'm sharing the product. But if you have a crappy attitude, you're not going to get the results that you want. We have a lot of consultants that are very knowledgeable about the business and about the product, but their mindset is off. And so they're not seeing the results. If you do everything wrong, so you may be at a point in your business where you're relaunching or you're brand new and you don't know all the products and you don't know all the things that they do. And you're not sure how to, the right words to say when you're booking. If you have a great attitude, it impacts everything. I loved when I started my business and I began reaching out to friends to book appointments. My attitude was, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm kind of excited about it and I'd love to
Mhm.
practice with you. I was
Mhm.
genuinely so excited and I was very upfront about the fact that I actually really didn't know what I was doing. I knew I loved it. I knew that I
Yeah,
washed my face with it,
yeah.
but I didn't know, like my first party, I just dumped everything on the table and 3 ladies sat around and I'm like, this is what I do in the morning. This is what I was there for 6 hours because we were just chatting and I was having a great time. My husband's like, are, well, are the parties going to be this? I don't know. But you know, they bought a lot of product. They bought a lot
Uh,
of product. I sold a lot, but I didn't know what I was doing, but I had a really great attitude. And so what's fun is when you enter into your business, the rest of the binder, the skills that you have with an attitude that it is okay to be an amateur. It is okay to not know what you're doing. We're not brain surgeons. We're not, like, no one's dying on the table under our watch. Um, and knowing, okay, if I start with a great attitude, with a great mindset, then as I learn the skills, and so I am gonna learn how to book appropriately. I am gonna show up being more knowledgeable. Then your superpower grows, right? Because you've got a great mindset and you've got the skills. But you can be successful in Mary Kay before you own the skills. 100%. It
Mhm.
starts with mindset. 100%. You can watch very successful people in Mary Kay and out of Mary Kay. When their mindset gets messed up, whatever success they gained can be lost. You watch that in sports.
Mhm.
My husband is a golfer. I'm a golfer. I don't keep score when I golf. I golf with him. It's much more fun to not keep score. But we watch a lot of golf, and you can watch someone. So golf has 4 days of rounds of golf, each tournament, and you can watch somebody have an amazing first day, and then you can watch them have an amazing second day, and you can watch them going into the last day of the tournament on, like, head of everything. And when it's their mindset can shift, and they can lose everything. It can be one bad
Yeah.
shot that throws them off course. And what's amazing, it's not skill. It's not because they haven't practiced. It's their
Mhm.
mindset. It's why professional athletes pay lots of money for psychologists to help them work through things that have shifted in their brain. And so I love in Mary Kay how we not only teach skills, but as a sales director, my job is to help you evaluate, where is my challenge? Is it in the fact that I'm just not doing enough activity? Am I just not calling enough people? Um, or is it a thought process? Is it a
Mhm.
mindset that needs to be shifted?
Mhm.
I recently, so when we were on vacation, this is a really great analogy. We were in Colorado and we were at a ranch and they had a high ropes course. And I was like, let's do this. I've never done it before. That sounds really fun. Um, and I had a vision of what it was going to be. And I thought it was going to be like a slatted bridge with, slats of wood with like 2 handles on either side. And I thought it'll probably be a little scary because it's going to be high, but I imagined this trail through the woods that we were going to do. Like, that'll be a little scary, but it'll be okay. So we show up, and the, guy greeting us, he's like, "Okay, we're gonna go into this yurt and we're gonna get you suited up with your harness and your helmet, and then we're gonna take you over to climbing school." I was like, "Why do I need a harness? Why do I need a helmet? Why do I need climbing school? Like, why do I need all of this for what we're gonna what in the heck have we gotten ourselves into?" And so we go, we get all suited up, and it is like over the shoulders, up through the legs, like all this, like I am geared up. And we go over to this little mini ropes course that's like this far off the ground. And they teach us how to hook this like thing to the parts of the course so you're always connected. And when you move from one part to the other, you can't disconnect from one until you're connected to the other. So there's no chance you're going to fall off of this course. It was a whole, like, I had to learn it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we go through the training, we go over to the start of the course, and everybody climbs up the same platform, and you can pick easy, medium, or hard. I'm like, I'm gonna pick easy. And so I get over, I don't know how many feet it was off the ground. It felt like the Empire State Building. It felt so high. And I take one step onto the first leg of the course. There were all these little sections, and it had a piece of wood that was probably about 4 feet long, connected to rope, so it wasn't stable. So when you stepped on it, it kind of wobbled. and you had to hold on to these ropes. I took one step out onto the wood and my legs began shaking uncontrollably.
Oh,
And I'm strong. I work out regularly. And I was like, it's not fatigue. It's not muscle fatigue. I was like, I am terrified. And I could not control the shaking of my legs. And it was terrifying, quite honestly. There is a point midway through that leg that I really wanted to burst into tears. Like I was so afraid. My husband, thank goodness, had decided to come behind me on the easy course while my kids and my son-in-law were like all over the other part. And he said to me, when I got across, he said, Beth, you're not trusting that that wood's going to hold you. You're like crouched down. You're trying to like upper body strength it the whole way across. And you're not trusting it. And I'm like, I'm not. Yeah. And I didn't even, I did not, I couldn't tell you my form, but he had to tell me.
Mhm.
It was, I needed someone outside of me to help me recognize, like I was clear, I was terrified, but he had to help me make the shifts to know how to change my mindset because that is the only thing that needed to change for me to get through the rest of the course because physically I could do it. I know that I could do it, but my mindset was so trapped in fear that I was like, when you're in fear, when you're in discouragement, at like your vision, like your peripheral vision, you lose it. It just goes zoop, like this. That can happen in our business. We can't, in those moments when we're feeling discouraged, when we're feeling overwhelmed, there are times where we 100% need somebody else to give us their perspective, to go, this is what's going on. This is how you can shift. Now, so my husband made a suggestion to me on how I could shift. He told me, stand up straighter. Like he gave me really good tips. I got to choose if I listened to him. Sometimes I'm not great at listening to my husband's advice. Sometimes I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. I chose to listen to his advice because his legs weren't shaking. He knew that I was strong. And so in that moment, I'm standing on the platform before the next leg of the course, and I had a decision to make. I mean, I was breathing hard. My heart was racing. I was like, it was a whole thing that I had to settle myself down and like decide, am I going to shift my mindset? So when you open your binder, we're going to create something, and I'm going to ask you to create something through this next week because it's going to be a longer, probably I would recommend a little bit longer time than a few minutes I'm going to give you right now. But we're going to create something that you can look at that can help you shift places in your mind that you may need to with your business right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you 2 minutes and I'm going to have you write down everything on your piece of paper that um, you right now do not feel confident in your business. Like when you think about it, like you go, just don't know if I can do that. And it can be any part. It can be product knowledge. It can be calling people. It can be meeting people, whatever. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to think about the things that feel really hard right now. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to have you think about something else. So you've got those things written on your paper. I'm not going to ask you to
Mhm.
share them. The next thing I'm going to have you think about is I want you to think about 2 times in your life where you know you did something hard. It may be it may be a relationship that you walked through that was hard. It could be a physical challenge that you walked through that was hard. It could have been a job change or a job loss. It could have been something you did as a child that was hard. And it was hard, you knew it was hard, and you did it. Now, the deal is we've all lived through hard days because we're here, right? None of our hard days have killed us because we're still here. So all of us have days that were hard that we've lived through. So I want you to go back in your memory and think about 2 hard times. And you know what? There's no you don't have to like feel like you're in the hard Olympics, like you have to have the hardest. It has to just be hard for you. It doesn't matter if it's hard for anybody else, but you knew in that moment, this is really hard for me to do. So like me on the ropes course, it was hard for me. It wasn't as hard for my family. So they have a different challenge that they had. So 2 times in your life, I'm gonna give you a minute, that were hard for you. Okay. I would love to hear about one of your hards. If either of you would be willing to share a time in your life that you know you did a hard thing.
I was working full time and I went back to school in my early 30s and very low confidence, but I did really good. Well, you know what? If I got a B or better, they'd pay for the books. And because since money was tight, I worked so hard and I got everything paid for by my job. Um, and I still worked full time. That was hard. That was
Yeah.
hard. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that is hard.
Yeah.
Were the girls around at that time? Did you have,
No, that was before I had kids.
okay.
And that was my second thing is working full time while raising 2 small children.
Mhm.
And I think it was God's gift to me when I left that job, came to Florida, and I spent more time with my girls. It was really a plus for me. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm, so good. Those are hard seasons when you're working and going to school because then you have homework. So then
Yeah.
you probably had less sleep, figuring
Yeah.
out how to run your home and just all the things. Yes,
Yes. Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Those are hard seasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ginger, how about you? Any time you want to share?
I can only think of one right now. I'm sure there's others, but I was living in Michigan and I had moved my whole life here for my ex-husband. So when I decided to leave him and I had to start my life completely over. Like I had like no friends, no family, no like all I had was my job and me.
Yeah.
So starting completely over and having to figure that out for myself.
Hmm. That's huge. That's so
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Um, Yes, congratulations on moving through that season because that had seasons of probably discouragement and loneliness and a lot of things. That is a lot. Well, when I think of the situations, thank you for both being willing to share those things. Sometimes it's hard to think back to those seasons. Um, But I want to point out to you, and then if somebody is watching this that is thinking about their own hard thing, is like I said earlier, you're alive today, which means you
That's
lived
right.
through it and you
Yes.
didn't. And you can look back and see lessons, and you can pause right now and go, because I have done a hard thing, have lived through it on the other side, you have a champion mindset. You have it. It's in there because you've done a hard thing and you've gotten to the other side of it. Our challenge every day is to remember that we have a champion mindset, and that gets to go with us everywhere we go, including our Mary Kay business. And so when we look at the things that you wrote above, the hard things in Mary Kay, you can go, oh, I have a champion mindset. I've done hard things and I've lived through them. I have a champion mindset. I'm a champion. I can do hard things.
Mhm.
And that, taking what you've experienced in one part of your life, you can 100% bring into Mary Kay, because Mary Kay is skill based. It's things that a skill that you can learn from booking an appointment to meeting people to sharing the product. They're skills that we started off this conversation today saying it's okay to be an amateur. It's okay to not know what you're doing. It's our attitude. And when we can go back to go, oh, I have a champion mindset. I can show up for these trainings. I can do these things. I can walk this out. It might feel really hard. It might feel really scary. My legs might shake. My hands might shake. My voice might waver when I'm doing certain things. But how good, just like I had my husband who was behind me giving me direction in Mary Kay, you're stepping out into these hard things is not alone. The community that we have in Mary Kay, the structure of it, having a sales director, having a community in our Facebook group, having our gatherings where we meet weekly with other people, those are the beautiful part of our world that helps keep our mindset in the right place,
Yeah.
that helps
Yeah.
point out things that we aren't seeing, that we won't see when we kind of get overwhelmed with discouragement and fear, which can happen. Okay. All right. So we've got our organization. We've started the conversation today at the end of a hallway. We've thought about right out of the gate in our day, even this early, we've had 8 to 10 thoughts, and like we've opened up a lot of doors. And so knowing one of those doors, we want to be our Mary Kay door, and we need to have the binder behind it. So we're not opening up 20 Mary Kay doors when we head into our day. And so this week, you're gonna have homework every week with this. But this is kind of fun homework. It is
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
your binder. It is
Uh-huh.
creating some kind of visual that you're gonna put in the front of your binder. And when you open up your binder, the first page, it's the one page that I want you to have in your binder. And you're gonna take a fresh piece of paper and you're gonna write at the top, I have a champion mindset. And I want you to start gathering data this week that shows you have a champion mindset. So it may be memories from the past that pop up and go, oh yeah, I did that. That was hard. It may be in daily choices that you make when you choose a healthy habit. Go, oh yeah, I have a champion mindset. Um, when you choose to um, be kind when we could be nasty, that's a champion mindset. Like, start collecting data on yourself that proves that you have a champion mindset.
Hmm.
Now, what's going to happen, because the enemy of our souls does not want us to remember that we have a champion mindset. So this week, I want you to pay attention to the thoughts that try to get in your brain that want to tell you that that's a big lie. You don't have a champion mindset. You stayed up till 2 in the morning watching Netflix. That was really a bad idea. What kind of champion does that? You like those thoughts are going to come. But what we are taught is to capture those thoughts, right? And replace them with the truth. And we've already established that both of you, I believe everybody has done something hard in their life and you lived through it and you've learned from it. So you do have a champion mindset. The difference between a champion and someone who's not is where their focus is. It's their mindset. And it's spending more time on thinking about focusing on the belief and the truth that you are a champion. You were created by an amazing God who only creates champions, uniquely, beautifully created in your special, unique way. And so the ways that your champion mindset is going to show up is going to look different. All of our ways that we are champions shows up different because we are wired differently. And so that's your homework for this week. Binder, the why in the front, the picture, and then one page on the inside. At the top, it says, I have a champion mindset. And then you're going to collect data all week long. Now, if you have a thought that comes into your brain that wants to tell you that you're not a champion, I want you to jot that down on a piece of paper, but it doesn't get to go in your binder. Like, keep it somewhere, and next week we're gonna do something with that. But I want to encourage you, every time you have a thought that pops into your head that is trying to convince you you don't have a champion mindset, I'm going to challenge you to write down one thing that dispels that lie. And it may be what you shared today. It may be that you have the same thing every time that pops up to go, you know what? No, when I was working full time, I went to college and it was paid for because I worked hard. No, I moved to a state where I didn't know anyone because of a man and knew that wasn't a healthy relationship. And I have learned to live after that. I did it. It's huge. It's so huge. So that may be the one thing that's like your shield, when the arrow tries to come and remind you that you don't have a champion mindset, you're gonna be like, no, actually I am. Actually, I am. I have a champion mindset. So that's your homework, organization and mindset. The other thing I want you to think about with that hallway analogy is really starting to pay attention to what doors are you opening in your brain that you have no control over, that you can't do anything, and that you just need to stay shut. Maybe it's a conversation. Maybe it's something that you see on social media that distracts you, or, maybe you need to unfollow some things. What are some things that cause confusion in your life that because you've opened up the door and it's not your door to open? Anything that starts to cause confusion is not for us, because the Lord doesn't bring confusion. He brings clarity. So you want to think, what is bringing me clarity? And that's what I'm going to do. And so I want you to start thinking about, okay, that's a door I don't need to open. Okay. So, all right, I want to leave the last few minutes for questions or comments about anything that we've talked about. Any questions or comments about anything that we've talked about? Or a takeaway that you're going to leave with today. So we can do that as well.
This is amazing, Beth. This is so great. And I'm so glad I showed up today. And I'm going to do my homework.
Okay.
And I have it all ready. So for next week. So yeah. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. So welcome.
That last part, when you said keeping doors shut, I'm thinking of just all the negativity things that you think of every day. Like just that door you want completely shut. Like you just don't want to even.
Yeah.
And I think other people will try to bring us those negative thoughts, or something doesn't go right and we go to those negative thoughts. So it's like that, to me, that's a big door.
Yes. Huge, Ginger. It's so huge. And they're lies, right? They're just lies. It doesn't give us energy. None of it. And so when we, Pam Shaw, National Sales Director, she's one of my favorites, so wise, but she has shared for years, time spent in one place is time taken away from something else. And so when we open a door to negativity, we have now taken time away from productive, healthy us, right? When we
Mhm.
open the door to thinking about things that aren't true and negative about us, we have now said, okay, maybe it's 30 minutes, maybe it's a whole morning. And we have just given it to that thought and stolen it from something that is productive. When I'm so consumed with something that I think is wrong with me, I miss the needs around me. Like I stop serving people. I stop loving people because I'm so focused on myself and what I think is wrong with me today.
Mm.
And it is really, it's so powerful.
Yeah.
And it's such a victory when we can shut that door and we can we start to see things around us. We start to see beauty around us. We start to
Mhm.
see the blessings around us. Um, when we open up, sometimes I can get negative when I compare myself to somebody else. Oh, they've been in Mary Kay less time than me and they've already achieved so much more. That steals my productivity of the day,
Mhm.
steals it. And so whatever good
Mhm.
I was gonna do is now gone. It does absolutely nothing, to us and to the world around us. And we live in a world that needs love and needs kindness and needs generosity. And so for us to be in that place, we have to, again, mindset. So huge. So huge. Okay. Well, ladies, I look forward to seeing you back next Tuesday morning.
Yes. Yes.
If you wouldn't mind, popping on our Facebook group and just maybe sharing your takeaways. I can promote something all day long, but for someone that's participated to go, hey, you guys show up next week is going to mean way more than me because our unit expects me to say, come show up to something. But if
Yeah.
you wouldn't mind just posting a takeaway from it, I will post the recording so people can watch it and be ready for next week. But if you guys would be willing to do that, would love to have some more people join us.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. All right.
All right, you guys have a
Thank
good
you. Have a
day.
great
You
day.
too.
Bye-bye.